Ian Sachs joined by the head coach of the Alabama football Crimson Tide, KELOLAND DeBoer. And KELOLAND, what does it mean for you to be back in the state of South Dakota?
Yeah, it's great. This is obviously home, and it's been a while. It's been probably 6 years, 7 years for sure, since I've really had a chance to come for a couple days and see a lot of friends and see the places. Man, the city's changed a lot. Just driving down some of the roads, and seeing the complex that here that Sanford's built. It's pretty amazing, and so it's been an awesome couple days, and looking forward to seeing the rest of the people here tonight and the rest of the week.
To be able to speak at an event like this, what's the message that you want to leave the crowd with?
Oh, I think there's a lot of people just want to kind of hear the journey, kind of hear what's happened in the last really 15 years since I was here at the University of Sioux Falls. Just kind of piecing that all together. Talk about the game, talk about athletics and sports from kids on up to college and even the pros, and just give some perspective from what I've seen, and try to add some value to what these processes are that everyone's trying to go through, whether it's adults, whether it's them and their kids are trying to raise. Just enjoying that and trying to share everything I've learned.
What does the state of South Dakota and the city of Sioux Falls mean to you?
Well, this is home, and it's a special place. I mean, this city is amazing. It really is. And landed and was with Curtis Riggs, and just kind of driving and kind of thinking about some of the times we had, but also just realizing how much this place has to offer. And it's a great place, for my time. And you can see just all the ways that the city thrives, whether it's the sports scene or other, the schools, the community. There's just so much to offer here. So the city of Sioux Falls is very special to me.
When you think back to your time here in Sioux Falls, what memories come back to you?
Well, it's 15 years plus, 16 years. It was, college days. It was, coaching some high school ball, winning some championships, both as a player and a coach. But just more than anything, the relationships and the friendships from my teammates to the guys I coached to the other coaches, whether it be the high school coaches, the college coaches, just so many great relationships. And it's fun here to come back and share some of those memories with them.
To think that a kid from Millbank, South Dakota is now leading one of the biggest brands in all of college football. How do you hope to inspire the next generation with your story? Yeah,
I think that's probably one of the messages I always like to share is just, never set limits on what you're doing, but also the main focus is just focus on where you're at. And that's probably the thing that I'm most proud of is wherever I was at, that's the place I could have just been for the rest of my life. And when that's the case and you just pour everything into it and you got the right people around you, the success happens then, and you focus on the process, the results are there. And so that's just happened time and time again. I've truly been blessed, but just focusing on the main thing and not getting caught up in the noise and the outside world and the expectations that everyone else has.
What are the biggest lessons that you try to instill in your players?
That, just the process, just focusing on the things they can control. There's just, again, when you get to the college level, especially at Alabama, there's so much outside, and social media, you're not going to keep your guys off it. So trying to really have them understand that, what other people think doesn't matter. It's about you, it's about us. And, that's to me the whole key is having that, again, that perspective to be able to just do what matters for us as a football team.
I want to shift gears now a little bit to Alabama. One season in the books there. How would you characterize that first season?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. You go in the middle of January in the portal with the way it is, and it was closed for everyone else. But when you have a transition of coaches, it opens up for 30 days. And so keeping a roster at that time, especially when you have so much talent like you have at Alabama, where everyone would love to kind of pluck guys, that first 15 to 30 days was intense. You're hiring a staff, but we got our feet underneath of us, and now the year 2 cycle, we didn't have any guys enter the portal here after this last spring, which was the only team in the SEC. So I feel good about the culture, and that's continuity with our players, that's continuity with our coaching staff, and really just trying to evolve and take those next steps, learn from what we had last year, learn from the opponents that we're going to face. Really, the season, conference-wise, is the same. It's just a home and away flip. So we're ready to attack it. The guys are excited. They're working hard. They're holding each other accountable. All those things that you need to see in year one to year two to have that progress.
A 9-4 season. You get up to number 1 in September, and then you immediately lose 2 of your next 3. What do you take from that experience of the highs and the lows of the lows as you now get ready for year 2?
Yeah, it's just every week in the SEC, you're going to get everyone's best shot when you're at Alabama. And, we know that, but you just, you got to pick each other up. And, your response to adversity and, those games being on the road in those environments, that's, what we got to be better at this year. And those games came down to a lot of times, we lost a 5, a 6, and a 7-point game. And so we got to be better in the critical moments, and that again comes through repetition, understanding of what we're going to do when we get in those spots. And so I've really enjoyed this off season, teaching and working with these guys on how we're going to be different, and be better when those opportunities come up.
You mentioned the continuity piece. How do you look to build that momentum into year 2 now?
Well, it happens in every way. It happens off the field, first of all, because really you only get 12 game days, and so your wins have to come in other ways, and the wins come off the field, whether it's in the classroom, it comes just in your work ethic, it comes in the accountability, it comes in the work in the weight room, and our guys are thriving in all those ways. And so as a staff, our recruiting has been really at a high level, and that's exciting. So there's a lot of momentum that carries us into fall camp, which is just right around the corner. Take
me back to the thrill ride of landing in Tuscaloosa and that reception of when you first were named the head coach at Alabama. Yeah, that was a fast 2 days there, from interviewing one day, or Coach Saban even backtracking one more day, Coach Saban retiring, getting an opportunity to interview the next day, and then getting hired and, flying down to Tuscaloosa. With my family and meeting the team that evening on a Friday. It was a whirlwind and a lot of emotions because we just celebrated, a great run at Washington, but just too great of an opportunity there at Alabama with the resources, the support. The fan base has been amazing, super passionate, and so that was a lot of fun, and we're just building on that. In the final minute or two that I have with you, I want to ask you more big picture things about the nature of the sport between house settlement, NIL, the transfer portal you touched on earlier. What's the landscape of college football to you? Well, there is a lot. I think the last 18 months to 24 months have been probably as much of a whirlwind that I've ever been a part of. Whether it's the portal, the NIL, and really that combined is what's really caused the chaos. And I feel like there's some things that people are really trying to do, and there's some things falling into place with the settlement to where hopefully the waters have calmed a little bit. I think it might take still a little bit here in this transition, but you hope that's the case. And again, I try to just keep the main thing, and that's trying to make this one of the greatest experiences for our guys' lives. Try to support our staff so they can, do the teaching to our players to help us, be the best we can be. But it is college athletics continues to grow. It isn't just football; it's all sports. It's going to always be popular as long as we really focus on, again, the main thing, and that's what I hope it is. That's why I got into the business. Of course, a much different place in University of Sioux Falls versus Alabama, but how do you see the current landscape affects, say, the smaller schools like a USF where you got your coaching start? Yeah, I was just talking to Coach Glow, last night. He was sharing a little bit of the calendar, the timeline for them, and I kind of keep an open ear to those things because that's where I came from, and so I'm certainly, like to understand how it affects not just where I'm at, but also, all these other programs at all levels. And so it's certainly, I don't want to say trickled down, but it affects everyone, and so in a different way. And, I hope the game of football can continue to stay strong at all levels. Well, Coach DeBoer, appreciate the time and welcome back to Sioux Falls. Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.